Hey guys, how's it going? It is, wow, already 9:22 p.m. I gotta get moving here. I wish I could start later, sooner or something. So, tonight I'm gonna go over, since I don't have too much time, I couldn't show you everything. This is the current network status of the Southwest server. And it looks like it's going pretty damn busy. And I'm recognizing some names. Wow, very nice. So, did all the pleasantries. You'll start on channel 0, blah blah blah. I loaded up the extra board. Barstow. It's the very first one on the list of the Southwest. You can, if you're looking for a certain area, you can load up any extra board. It'll take you, as you can see, Shift F12. Get you off the brown. F12 puts you back. Shift F12 and the E key. I'm holding Shift. You can hit Control. It really does. Q brings you down. Slowly. Q. Control. Left Control Q brings you down fast. It can even bring you underground. You can do the WSADs. Here's the yard at Barstow, for example. Now, yeah, I've been doing this for 6 years, so I know this area. LA I don't know as well, so I do have maps printed out. You can see some of the engines, all the cars are still loading up, blah blah blah. If you hold Shift Z, this will go through Shift Z, Shift X, Shift C, Shift V. Well, you know, anyways, once you get a train it'll give you more, but anyways, we'll leave the clock on because that's important, and I'll tell you why in a minute. So I'm just holding Control and I'm doing the WASD thing. I can fly all over the place. Unless you know where you're going, you don't know where the hell everything is, no big deal. Left Control F8 will put on your destination. It'll cycle. Unit number, destination. Now I know this yard, and this is just experience. Control W. I know this yard has a departure yard here. These tracks. Now, you can fly around and do all kinds of things. When you're looking at a dispatch board, normally what you're used to seeing is green signals and click on the things. This is oligarchy dispatching, which basically means it's the same as anarchy, or not anarchy, it's the same as dictatorship, except it's got the permission of a password so that other dispatchers can run. I currently don't have that access, or at least I haven't registered or whatever. I've done it before in the past on this server. I am on just purely as a client like everybody else. Now, I would have taken you through how you load up the server, which one to do this. Unfortunately, security breaches would have been applied, which I try not to do. Like, for example, if I went into the client tab, you would see all my passwords. You know, you only get passwords if you join certain servers. So I hate showing that, even as a demo, because I'd have to clear my entire list to show it to you. But that's how you join a server. You add in the IP, blah blah blah, all the other stuff. There's a train coming through right now. You can tell whether it's AI. Now see, it says the letter AI beside the symbol. The symbol, and I'm just holding the W key and holding Shift. This is the Z train for Kansas City North Bay. I know by experience this train's going to the Mojave sub. I'm like, well, how the hell you know that? It's experience. So I just put milepost tag on. So that ain't going to tell you much. But I can tell you right now that if I go F3, it's this train right here, and he's heading up this way. To get in between the various locations, you can click on these tabs, and that'll take you to the Mojave sub. At least that'll give you an idea. But what he's doing is he's going, I did that wrong, Barstow. He's coming up to this junction here. So I can go Control. Now it's not this junction, it is this one right here. Now unfortunately, he's got a signal. There's all kinds of signals, definitions. You can look those up online. They used to have a signal guide in the F3, but they took that out in version 2. But he's basically going, you'll see the switch here is lined up to go this way. He's coming that way, and there's somebody else. You can zoom in if you want to see in the distance. Use your wheel mouse. You can go way up as far as you can go, and you can see him across. You can see the whole yard. You can see the tracks. Hit the mouse wheel to return. I'm holding the right mouse button as I go like this. There was another train I saw over here. I can tell by looking at this screen. Ignore it. It's fancy looking. That's because it's mod. There is very few mods that you can use in this, but that's one of them. Cajon. No, I want to look at Barstow. There's somebody coming up here over at Hinckley. This is Barstow. So what happens is he goes from Barstow. So this comes to Barstow. That's the Mojave sub. This is the Mojave sub sheet. And you can see there's various trains. That just means it's an open switch. But anyways, enough of that. We'll watch very quickly this train. I do want to get running a train as opposed to anything else. I don't know if there's anything going on in Barstow tonight. Sometimes there is, sometimes there isn't. Sometimes somebody's humping, sometimes there isn't. And when sessions aren't running, people come on and whenever that's convenient. It looks like nobody's running at the moment. So here's what you do. I pull it up here so I don't click on anything. I go up to the sky because if you click, you might get something else. If you hear any beeps, I got an email thing going in the background. I'm not going to show you the maps. I'll let you guys figure that out yourself. You can just find the maps on run8depot.com. So what I am going to take you to, hopefully good, I did that right. That's a tone you're hearing right now. I went to the work list. It shows you what's available, but I don't want to do that. What I want to do is I want to go to new schedule. Now you have to scroll down a little bit. This is where I like to go personally to see what's coming up. Now there's a few things you can do. I actually wanted to we're coming up to 11 o'clock. I see a hold. I see a manifest train. But I really thought about getting a grain train or something like that. There was somebody the other night that was having a hard time on the hill. So what I might do is, instead of looking at a train, what you can do is you can focus on an area and say, hey, I want to try this. So it might not be a grain train, but it might give you something. So up here at cable, you can go out here, you can just hit the space bar. And we'll see what's going on here. So as you can see, there's a train waiting here. Now let's see what this guy is. See, I'm flying over here because I know he's coming. He's perfect. I'll take him, thank you. So click on him. Hold position, relinquish. We're gonna run a downhill. I'm following him in. It takes a few minutes. It says AI stopping now. Modbar's a good one. Modbar. Wait a minute. Did I do the wrong one? No. Never mind that. I did the wrong one. Sorry. My bad. I meant to get this guy here. Although he's probably not a yeah, he's a vehicle train. I don't know if, well, he could be heavy enough anyways, so let's just take him. Let's take the vehicle train. I didn't mean to take the upbound train. Let's take him. So for here, he's already, you can just relinquish when stop. You don't have to hit hold. And we are going to work on going down the hill. So now you can click. Once you relinquish it, it takes a few seconds to relinquish, then you're fine. You can click on this as your lead unit. Don't click on anything else but the lead unit. And we got one of the nice new units. I like it. So to start us up downhill, first of all, you see the parking brakes on. This here is the independent brake that I just put. There's Gus. That you can see his name there, so he's all set. You want to put a minimum application at least. I got the independent on. I think it's enough here, but I'm just going to put a minimum application. Minimum application means you're just putting in enough auto brake. There it is right there. So it went from 90 to 84, 6 pounds. That's fine. We may not need it later, but you don't want to put full service brake. Now what I'm going to do is and I have a rail driver. You do not need a rail driver, but it's very well recommended. Here comes our train. I'm going to release the parking brake. Now the train may move ahead a little bit. It may not. The OT's moving up, which means it's bunching. There, see, it just moved a bit. Kind of swayed a bit too. Looked like it went off to its side, but anyways. And we can honk at him. We'll be nice. He's not taking out his ditch lights at us, but that's okay. Yeah. AIs are very, they're not as friendly. Wow, that seemed weird when it did that. So yeah, you can view the whole train and see what it looks like and everything and blah blah blah. Fly by here, take a look at the back of our train. There's our EOT, we're good. Hold control on F11, that puts you back in. So I forget all the switches, but that's okay. Everything's usually set up for you when you're taking over an AI. Oh, one other thing. What you want to do is you want to go on to the division where you're at. Right now I know this location. I know it by just by experience. I'm this guy right here. I'm at Cable. Now I'm not going to look at this, and unfortunately I don't have much traffic coming my way, which really sucks. But that's okay, because I wanted some traffic tonight, but that's okay. So we're going to have an easy ride down the hill. You're not going to see many trains, unfortunately, but that's okay. I don't think we're going to make it very far tonight, but that's okay. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't, but I'm not going to be looking all night or else I'll never get into a train. I can, where's my headlights? Headlights, where are they? Again, I have the rail drivers, so there they are, see? See how they're going? I'm doing the rail drivers, so I've got my rear lights are on minimum, but I don't need them because I don't have a rear unit. I push the arrow key forward. You see all these cars. You got cars going to Phoenix. What happens is, and the reason why I knew I was on the wrong train was because it said to Barstow. This train is vehicle Clovis to what, Richmond, California? I can't remember. It's been a while. Red symbols are loads, greens are empties. And you'll get if you ever get a random one, it'll be something in between. So this is just going to be a boring, it's going to seem like a boring run down the hill, but I actually have to pay attention, which is kind of cool. And I do need my phone, because this is why I was delayed tonight. Because of issues going on. I don't know where I put my phone. Oh, there it is. It's right behind my rail driver. Okay. So yeah, we finally, well, we're not finished the renovations, but we'll see what happens. Oh, dispatch channel. Channel 14, star 54 is the tone. I'm just going to put it to channel 14. I hit channel 1, 4, push up arrow again just to look for the view here, waiting for that green signal or whatever. See, I'm on channel 14 now. It says 1, 4. There's my green signal. I release the independent slowly. And you notice it's moving. Make sure it's in forward. Now even with an independent brake, or sorry, with minimum application of 6 pounds, it's moving. It's moving down the hill. So I want to set the dynamics now. I don't touch that brake. I leave it at 6 pounds. Now see how that slowed down? So you want to take it nice and gradual. You modulate the brake. This is one of the, it's not the toughest grade, but we're going to come into them tonight. All I'm doing is playing with the dynamics. I want to get to 23 miles an hour, so now I'm bringing it up. We'll honk at Gus. Now, different cabs will give you different things as far as, see this thing right here? That's how fast you're going as far as your momentum. So don't worry too much about this, but I'm going to go Shift Z, and now I can cycle through different things. That was my train. Speed limit is 23 miles an hour. There's the black smoke coming out of me. Whoops! Ooh, that's scary. So you can fly up here too, right? Now I'm able to operate with a rail driver just by looking at my panel. The only display I get is Control F11 to get back in. The only display I'm getting right now is the speed, and that's the main thing that I am looking for. Now I'm on the operating channel of the see, I'm going too fast. You're okay if you go a couple over, but once you start going too much, you gotta pay attention. But notice there, I'm at brake 5. You can go all the way to brake 8. Momentum's coming down. No need to panic. Don't use up all your brake. Let the dynamics do the work for you. To do the flyby view, in case I hadn't mentioned that yet. Control F11 to get back in. So this is where a rail driver comes in handy. There's a tone. You'll hear tones across the entire server. So I'm just gradually bringing down the throttle, or the dynamic, I should say. And you can see it here. I'll show you. See, there's your dynamic right there. So my rail driver is controlling that. I'm not doing that by mouse clicks. So now it's at 3. If you want to look out the window, hold the Alt button, right Alt, and then up and down. You can look out the window. We got another clear signal. Oh, if you're not too sure where the signal's, yeah, you're gonna have you should be looking at maps too. Now I'm gonna be going between B3 and B4. If you're not too sure, sometimes you can't see with the colors. You can change these as well, but if you're not too sure, this is what's happening on channel 14. Oban and Dennis is behind us, I believe. That's on the UP Mojave sub, which we are on, but it splits at Mojave. You can see I'm up to 24. Well, I was up to 24 for a minute, but I was in the process of going up. If you're not too sure how far away you are from the next signal, it'll tell you that in this display. It tells you your track speed, it tells you when the next speed restriction is coming. It won't tell you when the speed increases. That's why the maps are very useful. But this will give you a really good heads up, especially if you don't know where you are and stuff like that. Some places will have milepost signs, other places, I mean, unfortunately in this view it will not flash, but in single player you will see flashing cursors. Whenever you fly to something, it'll actually start flashing at you. You won't see this when you're on a server like this, because they have the screen locked so you can't see. Like I see somebody's at Ilmon now. So it looks like I may have somebody tonight. So that's good. I do my best to stay at the speed. The trains going up the hill are going, you know, they may or may not, depending on what they are. So it all depends what you're looking at. California's got a lot to offer. That's one cool thing about having a big network, is you have your choice of all kinds of things. You can see the number of people that are on right now. Pings, if you look beside me, it says Sean. I'm at 68. That's about the average. I got fairly good internet, but I'm also a little ways away from the server. MS28, I believe, and 5-ash maybe overseas, but I'm not positive on that one. Sometimes the further away you are from the server, the more ping you'll get. It doesn't necessarily mean you have bad internet. There's a milepost marker there. You guys have to tell me what that says, because I can't see it from my high definition TV. But anyways, and sometimes I get lost where the hell I am. It'll show you name signs. Even though I've run this route so many times, you know, after a while you don't run one for a while, and it's like, okay, where am I exactly? I knew I was at Cable back then. Now I'm not too sure if I'm at Elmon or Elmon. Duh, he's at Elmon. Marcel, that's the one. Okay, I knew there was one before Wallong. All right. So I try not to look to see, you know, other than seeing, okay, I see there's one train. After that, I want to be surprised. You know, kind of get an idea what I can expect, but I don't want to know when they're going to hold me. I don't want to know when, you know, if I'm going to get the right of way. I like having a dartboard. This is what you call a dartboard. You don't see the signals or anything. But for somebody new who's trying to figure out where they are, you will figure out where you are based on the direction you're heading, whether or not you're on a facing point, a trailing point. Best place to learn how to run a train is single player, to be honest. At least to get used to it, to get the flying and all that other stuff. Then you can come on, and you can come on at any time, and you know, you can join. You can hop on an engine. Do I have crew interaction on? I don't know if I need that. I don't know where that is. You can transport to your train. That's always nice. You transport to somebody else's train. So we're going to be coming up to the Tehachapi loop pretty soon. But see here, but notice I haven't. I've got plenty of I got plenty of brake left over. So if I need a little more, I can take a little more. I can even release a little bit. There was a sign that said Marcel right there. Harder for me to see just because I'm, you know, I'm in my high definition screen looking on my little love seat here. Trying to figure out when the damn truck's gonna clear. And so that's the intermediate, or the approach signal, coming up to Wallong. Once we get through the tunnel, it'll be, we'll get to see the loop. Now this one's a pretty powerful train. Well, not too bad. 3.5. That's fairly powerful for this. Nothing like the big grain trains. There's no DPUs on the back. There's just my engines up front. Here we are. Tehachapi Loop, or Wallong. What's our length today? Yeah, we'll be long enough to see our train. That's always good. And you can move seats, left shift or right shift and F11. Oh, I got a whistle post. Some of these whistle posts aren't supposed to be whistle posts, but we'll just do what it says. That's the way I look at it. So if I go to, it cycles left and cycles right. So if I go left shift and F11, see, it's taken me on the various positions. Now I'm, you know, way above there, way above here, up here, up there. Now I'm back in this seat. I can go in that seat, and eventually you get back to here. Or you just right shift if you want to be the conductor. You start out as the conductor, and it works the same way. Right alt, down and up, and you can take a look out the conductor's side if you want to see. Sometimes this thing's in a way, but or control F11 to return back into the main seat. See your speedometer if you don't have the if you don't have everything. We're still on channel 14. I'm using the right arrow key. You can use two ways. You can go up to go right forward, down to go right back. That works inside the cab as well. And all the way down to dynamic 2. Or you can use the mouse and scroll around as well. And if you really want to stick your head out, use the WASD. I won't do that though, because we're getting to the good part here. So we'll just leave that. In fact, right shift, I'll get the conductor's view on this one. Like I said, I'm gonna get out below that So I'm gonna like, that way I don't see the thing. I'm using the right mouse key now to look. I think that's the end right there. Looks like it. Yep. Always make sure you're checking the signals, which I have a flasher. So, approach medium along, we are going north, so along north. Still see the train behind us. I'm going too fast. Next signal's coming up very shortly. So the flashing yellow means be prepared to come up to a yellow. It's like an advanced clear to stop, or advanced. Oh, I gotta turn my bell off. Ring-a-ling-a-ding-a-ling. Oh, I'm going way too slow. I was going out of control and then I was too busy sightseeing. But it's better to be too slow than not. Now I'm not releasing the brake. All I'm doing is bringing the dynamics down as low as I can. Okay, I gotta get back in. Now I could let go of the dynamics, but I'll just be patient and let the grade come to me. So dispatcher is busy, you know, lining up other things. The cab signal shows yellow-green. It doesn't show you the next signal, which it should. I don't know why it doesn't, but anyways, we're back on clears again. So I don't have to call the clear signals. I can just keep going. So we got a clear on the distant signal to Woody, as I like to commonly refer it to, or Woodford. And there's certain spots which make good screenshots. Just like that. Maybe I'll change it. Sounds like a plan. So I was watching some how-to videos the other night in the Game Maker series. I actually fell asleep during some of them, but I have been investigating the file operations. I've been going back and forth on the whole CTC board thing for RTS. And I still, you know, I'm seeing too many different hybrids out there. Custom made or variations or something. So I don't feel so worried about going a little bit hybrid at least. Like I saw one the other day. Now mind you, it was a JMRY model railroad panel, and I kind of liked some of the features because it had a flashing red light next to the code button to let you know that everything's been changed and you still have to hit it. Well, I thought about that and I thought, you know, it'd be kind of cool because I saw a panel that had lighted push buttons. Well, I thought to myself, it'd be kind of cool if that thing was had a flashing white and it was part of the push button. I still feel it would be much easier for me to go with the push buttons. And I was already working on that, and I think I'm going to go with it anyways, as opposed to the classic. I'm also trying not to, now we're coming into the south end of Woody, or Woodford. Again, I'm not paying attention to what, for all I know, I may have had to take the siding at Woody. or I'd have to hold. Maybe that guy was here. I don't know. I was pretty sure. And you get lazy too. You get lazy and you think you know what you're doing. You know what's going on. Yeah, nah, they're not going to hold you, but you still have to follow the signals. If the dispatcher forgot about you, well, then you tone him up. And to tone him up, how you do that? I could bug him. Now I could show you how to do various things. For example, if you want to do if you ever have to go into emergency, if your train is out of control, you should be going DTMF star 911. You should be calling the dispatcher to let him know you're out of control, so that he can make appropriate changes. You'll hear a very different tone. It'll be like a it's really, it gets the dispatcher's attention. In fact, no, I won't do it. There's too many other dispatchers. I don't want to do anything. And if any of you guys dispatchers are watching me or whatever right now, and you want me to do an emergency test, call me up. I'll do an emergency test with you. I'll be happy to demonstrate it, because I think it's a good thing. It basically what you do. By rights, you would tab in, communicate emergency, or go on Discord. I'm not on Discord, but I guess they're listening to it. I think. I don't know. I just do my text thing, and I still see plenty of text communications, and quite frankly, you don't really need it. You just follow the signals. Not much to it, right? I don't think they have TeamSpeak. But this is the best way to go down a hill. A minimum application with dynamic brakes. Is there cases where you can use more brake? Absolutely, you can and may need more brake in certain situations, especially some of the heavier trains. It's been a while since I've done it, but I know there's been situations where I've needed heavier brake. So you give yourself more. I'm not going to demonstrate that, but the key is do not use all your brake up. Give it a little at a time. If you find the full dynamic range isn't working, give yourself a little bit more. But don't keep giving yourself brake and releasing and giving yourself brake and releasing. In fact, I don't know. It works very similar to trucks going down a grade. You may not see a video on YouTube that will show you or basically how to train for driving a train down a hill. I don't know if there is one that's out there, but okay, so we're still at Woody, right? I think we're at Woody. Yeah. Wow, things are getting... So we're at Woody North. So approach medium Woody North. But I would, if you want to see a demonstration, there it says Woodford right there. If you want to see a demonstration, so what? First of all, let me before I finish that thought, what's happened too, and I cheated by going to the dispatch display. I wasn't too sure if I was at Woody and all I had to do was wait for the sign. But what's probably happening is there's going to be a meet coming up pretty soon. And I think he was originally thinking about putting me in at Woody, but we'll see what happens. Because that train, it's probably likely a higher, like an intermodal or something like that is coming, I would imagine. He's moving up the hill pretty good. Of course, he can only go 23 as well, just like me. Any train should be able to do 23 down the hill. And it's much easier to put the downhill train into the siding. Not to say that that's going to happen, but I don't know if it's a player service. What do we got here? Tim is running. I don't know where he's at. I'm correct. Bell Bar, I think, is way back at... oh yeah, we already saw Gus. Now, see, I got a clear signal now. So it's not happening yet. But we're getting closer to it. Now, I'm not a professional engineer by any means, but you know, this going back and forth between the range of 23 and 19, I don't know if that's normal or not. I think the dynamics by rights only have those 8 notches. They're not supposed to have the intermediates in between, but maybe it's a slower train than I expected. I'm not sure. For all I know, he might be in the. He might have just got into the grade here. I don't know. At Rowan? Don't think so. I mean, we would have saw him by now. But you never know. So yeah, if you want to really know what it's like to lose the air, go on YouTube and check using air brakes downgrade in truck or something like that. Look around and you'll find a lot of people will show you what it's like. Because that's why they have, if you've ever been on the mountains, which I've been in the Appalachians at least driving, I've been through other various mountains. I've flown over the Rockies. I've never actually driven through the Rockies, taken a train through the Rockies. But they have runaway truck ramps. Well, trains don't have runaway ramps. You have a runaway down the hill, it's done. You're done. So, I mean, you're going to derail. Eventually. You're going to hit a curve like this, and you're going to be going too fast, and boom, it's it. It's over. Mind you, the speed is probably set a lot slower than the actual danger point here. Just in case there is a runaway. Tim's over at Highland. He's just radioed in on 14. and he's holding the siding. Yeah, I was stuck up that way for a bit too last session. So yeah, if you go a mile or two over the speed limit, as long as you make corrective measures as soon as possible. And sometimes you get the yo-yo effect. So definitely looks like Cliff. I know I cheated again, but I couldn't remember the names. Yeah, the AI tends to stick right at 23. I don't know how the hell he does it so well. I'm trying. So I spoiled the surprise. I know there's a train coming, so I assume it's going to be Cliff, unless he's holding that back way back there, but I doubt it. But sometimes it depends on length and everything. I know I can fit in Cliff, no problem. So. But if I was a bigger train, maybe I couldn't. (10:10 Eastern). So far we got, well actually no, there's another signal in between, so we'll see what happens the next one. I forgot there's two in between here. The reason why I know that is because there was only a single head. You'll get a double head on the distant. Now I typed this in, I was doing this the other night. The reason why I'm doing that, I should have done that with the other ones, I'm going too fast, is if I'm following somebody it can change. But sometimes that'll change, sometimes it'll upgrade to a clear. I'm not too sure why I didn't do it earlier, but so I'm just adjusting the dynamics. I don't want to go too fast, I don't want to go too slow. There's a very good view at Cliff for those not familiar or new to Train Simulator, and I'll show you what I mean. We're not there yet, but depending on what track we're under, I gotta knock off the dynamics a bit here. Stick my head out of the window for a bit. Don't matter. Not yet, anyways. Okay, so now I'm at an approach. So a couple things I do here. One, I do that, and I also, as soon as I hit that signal, I put my counter on. Check your key bindings. It's on my rail driver. It's counting down the number of my feet. I'm going to dim the lights, because there could be a train anytime. Just courtesy, that's all that is. I don't remember hitting anything, but I don't know what that was. I might have accidentally hit something, but as far as I know, I didn't. Looked like everything was normal, so I'm looking down here, and if you zoom out, there's a train way the hell down there. That's at Calente. That's down here, so we got another train coming. So it's gonna get busy. I can't tell what kind of train it is, but anyways, pretty cool, huh? That's one of the cool things with Cliff. Now, you want to make sure you're watching this. This has got, you know, I still got a mile. This is a pretty long siding, so the reason why I put the counter on is I want to make sure that before I start braking heavily, that I'm clear the other end. That's why I'm doing that. Of course, the safety of your own train is the most important thing. You got to make sure you're safe. But what it does is that it maximizes once you're clear the other end, then the other train that's coming will have a light. So even if he's not here yet, say he'll have a red over yellow at this point if he's coming in. If he's here, it doesn't matter. But if he's not there yet, what'll happen is if I clear that siding, and I'm the one that has to hold, he'll get a red over green, which allows him to enter the siding at siding speed, which is basically track speed, and it'll allow him to continue. Here he is, right here. Looks like we got a bare table train. It's an AI train. So I'm almost there now. Those boxcars are actually bare tables. They're just So now I'm laying on the dynamics. He's still a little ways away anyways, so I know I'm okay. He has to anticipate a stop signal. I can't really communicate with him anyways, and besides, I'm not supposed to. So I'm 0.4 miles from the next signal. This is where it's really good to know. If you heard that beep, that was my counter. Now I'm clear. He's able to continue. The AI, I think, cheats. I think they see the signal before you do. So now he may actually start speeding up. But I want to be efficient here as well, so... And by that I mean, I don't know what the signal is. But if I can get a light and not stop, that would be cool. If not, you have to be prepared to stop anyways. It's right around the bend here. That's why I'm positioned to the left, so I can get maximum viewage. So this was a very good demonstration tonight of how to go downhill. Now I'm trying not to go too slow, but at the same time I'm only 0.2 away. I'm just over a mile long. Looks like this guy's longer than me. Okay, now I go full dynamics. As you can see, I've run out of rope. He's commenting on my boxcar. He's watching the live stream. So I'm full dynamics now. Everything's slowing down. Now I can let off the dynamics a little bit, but what I can do now... Here comes one of those boxcars. It's a mixed train. Yeah, I know. I keep saying I gotta buy one of these, but I never get around to it. What that is those boxcars will come in if you don't own something. So I'm going to put some independent on now. That'll stop me. Actually, I'll probably have to let go of that. And I got a green light. So now I can go back to setup. And we're all set. And notice I didn't have to do anything with the minimum set on the brake. I'm still at 84 pounds. So that worked out perfect. Yeah, perfectly timed, perfectly executed meet by you know, dispatcher, everybody involved. Oh, give me headlights on. So Viewville siding, yeah, there's another one I forgot. I know I keep forgetting about the name. Viewville, Allard, Calente's after that. My memory's not the greatest, so that's why I keep looking at the reason why is I want to call out the proper signals. So it's not to cheat to look, and there's a smoke on behind me. Sometimes you can see other things down there too. So that there is an approach diverging. Distant to, that's why I was looking, not to see that what was going to happen. I could have been on the other side for all I know. So yellow over green's an approach diverging. Yeah, I didn't think I was going to have any trains, and that changed really quickly. There's the rest of my... At least my train doesn't have any boxcars, so that's good. Oops, I'm going too slow. There's a good view, huh? That's amazing, huh? Or no, I thought it was at the end of it. I was gonna say, that was a little too short. Back in the cab here, because I know I need to pay attention right here. So that's a diverging clear. Viewville. Comes the train. That's that intermodal we saw at Calente from Cliff. Some NS leader. Stocked into Willow Springs. Now the clear is doesn't mean I'm cleared all the way through. What all that means is actually I would have had a red over flashing yellow, I believe. But anyways, clear means the next signal I'm not going to anticipate a red. So and that's going to be Bealville crossover. Bealville? Is that how you pronounce it? Yeah. Okay. I always forget that it's much faster going downhill. So far, we've had some good timed meets. We waited for that first train when we first picked it up, and that was it. So yeah, he's come to a stop because our tail end. So these containers these trailers I own. Or else you'd see Run 8 boxcars. The only ones I don't is there's a new set of well cars that came out, the latest pack, and I never bought them. Maybe I don't know, we'll see. I'll buy it eventually. I don't have Seligman sub either. There's a few things I don't have. There's some engine packs and stuff like that. So I got a clear signal at Beeville, which means at Allard I'll be cleared out. I might make it tonight. I'm just trying to picture the time right now. I don't see why not. Quite frankly, we'll see. From here, it's pretty good timing. You're through Allard, Calente, Ilman. Trying to think what's next. Blah blah. Bina, Sandcut. Pass through Edison there, the signal's there, intermediates, you're on double track at that point. And Kern Junction. After that, wait a minute, how's it go? I can't remember now. You're into Bakersfield at that point, but then after that I'm not 100% sure of all the ones again, I'd have to look. I don't think I got a funny feeling I might make it to the Bakersfield crew change. I don't think I'll make it very much further than that. I accidentally almost released the brake. Actually, you heard it, but it didn't do anything. I tapped it a bit, but nothing's changed. I put it down and then it didn't release, but it still made the noise, but nothing's changed though. It still says 137.84, so that's good. Here's a good view. It's still making noise. Whoever does that, you gotta... That's just audio or sound interference. The rear is at 84, so that's pretty good. No leakage, no flow. And you can see various screens. If there's any warrants, that would be there. How much fuel we have. That's the alerter. I haven't done it. I haven't played with anything for a while, so I just hit the alerter button. If you're in piglet mode, which I recommend for the beginners, as opposed to hogger, you're going to have to use the alerter. Do piglet mode, you won't have to worry about the alerter. It's a little more forgiving of physics issues and coupler breaks. Good to start out with until you get used to everything. So if you want to see where that is, high seniority hogger is what's on. You just, in the F1 screen, you go to piglet foamer. I will use that if I'm climbing a hill and it's boring as hell and I don't want to keep hitting the alerter. An example is coming out of needles. If it's just boring and you're gonna be passing by signals, that's what I usually do. In fact, the way I used to do it was I would run a train as long as I knew I was okay and I was dispatching, just to get trains up the hill. Back in version 1, before we had AI, I would run trains, and we'd go into I would do piglet mode and just put it in notch 8 and let her go, and we get the trains up. So that was the whole point. You don't have to worry about that in AI. You know, if you don't want that boring run, don't run it. This is actually, going downhill is a lot more. You have to pay attention to what you're doing, but this is still very relaxing for me. I mean, we've had 3 meets if you count the first meet, which is more than I expected. Who knows if we're going to get any more coming up, but I'm going to try not to look at the screen. We'll see. I like to be surprised. And just looking out the window and seeing, hey, there's a train at Calente, well, then I knew, wow. That was a bit of a surprise. That's why I always like looking out that window, because you can see so many various miles. Okay, so we're coming up to Calente now. The big horseshoe curve. I didn't want to do that. Where am I? That's what I wanted. Going too fast again. I just wanted to see if anything was coming up on me. You never know. Yeah, still going too fast. Let's go to 4. Alright. I see a clear signal. I'll hit the alerter button once. Check my phone. Yeah, we're trying to clear a shipment from Idaho into British Columbia, Kingsgate to be exact. And they didn't give me the paperwork early enough, so that's why I was delayed tonight. Alright, I'll be back in a second. I needed to go to the store. Unless I like bread ends, which I really don't, but oh, I'm gonna have, whoa, I'm going too slow. I forgot things really the grade really starts leveling out here. But there is a speed restriction of 15 miles an hour. So maybe I'll just pretend I didn't say that, because I forgot about that. This big curve up here is 15 miles an hour. See, I knew what I was doing. Right when you get to the end of the curve there, it slows out for a bit, and then it allows you to speed up after that. Okay, I'm going to dump the air. Not dump the air. Release the air. Get ready for full dynamic. Reason why that is because you're getting off the hill now. And you're still going down grade for a bit, and and then you can go up the hill for a bit, sand cut. See, even that's a little bit too much. I forget where the 23 begins again. I think it, let me just take a look. Oh wow. I thought it began right over here, but I don't remember. We'll find out. It'll tell us. I think it's the other side of the other end of the siding, actually. Oh, here we go. I knew it wouldn't let us down. So what I'll do is I'll put the counter on. It says 25, but it's actually 23. I don't know why. One railroad that took over for another changed it or something. I don't know. So auto brakes are totally off now. I'm still using dynamics because we are going down, but it's nothing now in comparison. 10:44. I'm not making Bakersfield tonight. I forgot about that little slow spot there. Be nice to get through Bena. Well, we should be able to get through Bena. I don't see why not. But we're not going to make Bakersfield, unfortunately. We'll be lucky to get to... actually, this train will probably... It'll go AI. It'll probably get past Sandcut, and then it'll end up at Kern Junction. And that is if I get myself in gear. Wow, I hadn't had my headlights on for a while. Oops. And the longer the train, the slower it is through this part. So yeah, I was talking about the RTS stuff for a little bit there. Like I said, I fell asleep watching videos the other night. But I did spend a little bit of time and went ahead and looked at the various file systems. The file systems are important to me. There is something they use called JSON or JSON that is, I believe, generic. Not generic. It's native to GameMaker, but you can use text files. I'll probably end up using text files because most of the data that I'm, at least I would say for the dispatcher application that I'm looking at doing, and again, the concept there is going to be having a full-fledged dispatcher simulation. I want to be able to have something that's more... What the hell? I'm looking at the... What am I looking at there? Scared the hell out of me. I saw the light on the... It's like, no, it's not a dwarf. I saw it was red. Like, whoa, what's going on here? Did I miss something? I knew it was a clear at the other end. I was getting ready to put it into emergency, but yeah. Forgot the little signals are goofy on the left side. Forgot about that. Isn't that weird, huh? Oh, the counter just went. That means we can go back up to 23. Now you can see the acceleration's really taken off, so that's good. So yeah, the I intend for, at first, demonstration-wise, just to rival TD3, and it's not going to happen overnight. I'm doing it first and foremost as a CTC machine simulator. I haven't seen one. I want to do it. It's not going to be a genuine. I don't think it's going to be a genuine. Oh, what do you call it? I can't even think of the name. Union switch and signal. It's not going to be a genuine union switch and signal CTC board. Me? He's calling for me. $90.59, that'd be me. He's getting a tile, probably something too big or whatever. So it looks like I'm going to the siding at Ilmon next. That's a medium approach to verging. Why that signal is for that, I can't remember. So when it's dead on the Mojave sub, don't despair because it may pick up. And it doesn't take long for southbounds to start coming too. Remember when I started, I was like, wow, it's not that busy. That didn't take long. So yeah, anyways, as I was saying there, Mike, I think, might have been worried about a tile issue. He gets errors on his panel, and I've seen it before. Usually it's when various cars are off, or they're bent out of position or something like that. I forget how they word it. Out of alignment, not out of alignment. I can't remember how the hell the name of it is. But anyways, he just wants to make sure that somebody's hasn't what do you call it? Split a switch or something like that. And that could easily happen with an auto rack train, to be honest, because what happens is if the dispatcher sets up a if the dispatcher sets up a meet and presets the switch to flick, sometimes if you're going too slow, it will actually switch underneath between the cars because it's so far apart it doesn't detect the wheel under the switch. It's not supposed to, but it does. It can happen, especially at slow speed. So it's, but I was okay for speed. I was just, you know. But as soon as he mentioned that, I went right away and I looked, and I was together. I would have gone to an emergency if had something been happen, or either that, or I would have been through part of Calenti at one side, and maybe I wasn't through the other. But I'm all together, so I don't think I was switched to Calenti. So we're going into Ilman. And I'll dim the signal, or dim the, that was weird. Try that again. So, yeah, anyways, get back to what I was saying. The TD3, a lot of people had been looking for a long time to see TD3. They didn't abandon there. Well, I guess they did, but they stopped. Oh, it looks like a freight coming up. I can see it through there. There it is. What had happened was they went on to do professional stuff or whatever. But what we haven't had is a CTC simulator. Now, RTS dispatcher module is just the very beginning as far as my plans go. Hopefully I'll get out of this siding, but I'm not going to make it past Bina by the looks of it. So the dispatcher mod, what that's about is just the start. We got some CSX. And an NS. Oh, look at that. CSX, NS, and UP. I didn't catch the symbol on that, but so number one, being a CTC machine simulator is a little unique. I don't know if they're out there. I know there's old signal box simulators, there's European dispatch simulators, there's the traditional modern day simulators, but not really in the form of a why am I going 15? I could have went a little bit quicker than that, but I know I'm at 25, but pay attention to what I'm doing. So what, as I say, I was going to go with a genuine union switch and signal panel. I've decided not to. The other thing that I may go for is a freelance demo route as opposed to a prototype. That still remains to be seen. The reason why is I don't want to focus on research. Okay, we're just about cleared. He's stopped by the looks of it. Oh, Gus is in here. Riding along. There's a DPU. Coming up to the end of the session. Don't think I get any more from here. So again, no brakes at the moment, just full dynamics. Now I'll hit it. Take out the dynamics. All this is the minimum set. And once you're done, yeah, I recrew. Oh, forgot to do something. You ever want to hijack a radio? Just go like this. Nope, not like that. That's just the AI coming up to the... Stop. You know, I could have just jumped it this way. I meant to go to channel 0 before I relinquished, but I'm not able to get into it. Oh, I gotta go in here anyways. I think I can do it now. Oh, no, I can't. Okay. Just hit Shift F11 a few times until you get right into his lap, or get close to it anyways. Yeah, that's about as close as you're gonna get. And then you just fly over here. Yeah, see, Tim, you're on channel 14. You almost have to get onto channel 0 first. Just like what I did. Because otherwise they won't hear. So that's how you hijack a train. You just have to go in, and then basically everything's frozen now. The clock's frozen, so only work takes place in between the next sessions. Yeah, I was going to do a throttle look at, but or a view with the throttle, and then I forgot about the cameras or whatever. Speaking of which, I did turn my camera off today. Yes, I did. Very good. But anyways, yeah. Just to finish that thought about with the Run 8 and the TD3 thing, or not Run 8, RTS with TD3. What'll happen is, and the reason why I mentioned the files, is I want to be able, at least at first, although it's going to get complicated later on, I may switch over to JSON, and it can be done pretty easily, and it's kind of like XML in a way. But so, yeah, I don't think there's a session next week. So what happens is, by using the text files, what I'm able to do, or what I'll be able to do, is make it a very easily editable. I use the same thing with the RTS beta software. However, hopefully I can make it a little bit more user-friendly, but that is going to be the way. That is the simplest way to make an editor and to modify and to use mods. So I may use JSON down the road, which also I believe is editable in a text editor. So there's an advantage to having the panels. If you ever look at a Union switch and signal dispatch board, there's generic panels for every OS section. OS sections are the control points. Yeah, I knew he was on vacation. And the reason why I mention how generic that is, the thing is, if you guys have ever seen Track Builder, which is basically the editor for train dispatchers, a separate program, what it does is it allows you to edit a layout. The thing about this dispatcher is it's linear. It's totally linear. I don't know how junctions are handled just yet. I believe, as far as I can tell, at least, I haven't seen how they do it when a desk owns more than one panel, because everything's linear in a CTC machine. Ah. So, because it's modular, what'll happen is it makes it very easy to edit. One, it's linear, and it's modular. So depending upon what kind of switches, or what kind of, how would you say, what kind of configuration is set, depending upon what kind of configuration is I'll just stay on here for a bit and we'll hear the engines hum. Depending upon the configuration, it's going to be an easy edit, and because it's linear, it'll just be every segment in a row, what each segment is, its configuration, what nodes it's hooked up to, like what signal nodes, what switch nodes, etc., etc. The panel will be very similar to what Run 8 does, and the reason why I'll show you this, everything as you can see here is gray until you get to this one. The idea that I got from this, actually, I didn't do this. Scott Martin, SMRY, did this for me. Or he didn't do it for me, but he did it for a bunch of people, or himself, or whatever. But he sent this to me and said, "Hey, you might like this." And you can actually edit these. Well, in similar fashion, I am going to have it so that it's an editable track segment, because what he's done here, what he's the admins are talking about the various stuff that needs to be done, and what he's done is basically the signal modules are still here. So in other words, what lights up as the signals are still part of it, but the file that's edited is actually the background, not the tracks, I don't think. But I'm not 100% sure. I haven't edited one of these. Scott knows more about this than I do, but I think it's a PNG file or something. I'm not exactly sure. It's in your Run 8 file. It's totally editable in a paint program. And what he's done was he darkened the color, and he was able to add various descriptions along with the other stuff. You can gray out this whole thing and put it in your own stuff if all these text is annoying, or if the colors are annoying. You can do whatever you want, basically. I might actually, if I was to do it, I may turn it totally black. I was thinking I might do it too. I was thinking of trying it, but honestly, I don't want to get distracted too much. I'm watching them talk about the power. So they're talking about Hobart Yard, which is over here. Actually, they're talking Eastern Avenue. Let's take a look. Not Eastern Avenue. I gotta go further up. This way. That's Hobart right there. And again, like, you can move around and fly around. You get used to it. Ooh. It's not too bad. Look better than mine. It's not too bad. Yeah, some of these fuel pads, I forget which one it is. I know they work. I think it's... I forget which one it is. It's one of these that doesn't work. So yeah, anyways, I was getting distracted. It's 11:15, but it's fun watching them talk. I used to do a lot of this myself back when I was more heavily involved, but I enjoy a little bit less pressure, and honestly, I don't want... This is why I gave up, I think, as far as running. I couldn't get the server to do what I wanted to do, and I was doing an LA one, but even some of the other ones, I can never really get it to do what I wanted it to do. That's why I'm focusing now on RTS as far as a separate program. And it's not to compete with Run 8, it's actually to do something different than Run 8. So I still enjoy Run 8 very much. Maybe one day RTS will be compatible with Run 8 version 2 point whatever, or 3 or whatever. Who knows? Just moving forward here as far as what's happening. Next week I'm going to lose the distractions big time, especially coming Tuesday. So I'm going to run out of excuses really quick. Now the good part is I've already started looking into various ways of tackling this, and it was very important that I found out how Game Maker actually does the editing. So now I know how it works, some of the functions that work for it, and that'll be perfect. It'll work. As far as I can tell, there should be no issues. So once we get that going and have the ability for anyone to come in and edit their own train schedules, basically where they're starting and where they're ending, work areas isn't going to be, and this is where it gets a lot bigger. Let me just get out of this way, out of the hissing engine-ness of that area here. Let me see what's going on over at Union here. If there's anything. Yeah, they're hissing too, huh? Okay. Well, we'll go back here and we'll watch the traffic somewhere. Oh, that's a good view. So, I'll just talk to you guys a little bit more, just so you guys know. And I know I'm not. The one promise I've kind of kept is I'm not showing you any of the development. Really, there's nothing to show anyways, because there has been no development. I can be honest in saying that. So this is going to be a much bigger project, but I'm going to take it baby steps. I have to. It has to get my it'll help in getting my confidence up, and by doing so, why does the cars just kind of disappear after a while there? Oh, I thought they would have gone a little bit further, but anyways, kind of caught my eye for a minute. Yeah, we'll go this way. We don't want to see disappearing cars. Unless they suddenly up here. Well, it doesn't matter. It's not a car simulator. But I wanted to make sure that everything that comes into play here. Yes, I want it to have the dispatcher functionality, but that's just the beginning. If I can get something that's at least comparable to TD3 or even better, I've already tapped into a potential audience. Then the AI section, that's what would probably come in play next. And the reason why the AI would come into play is for the next thing. I'm not going to skip that like it doesn't sound like it's important. It is very important. AI dispatching is going to be huge. My example will probably be a single track module or single track territory, maybe with some double track sections, just to see how I can get the AI to work in the double track sections effectively, but we'll see. I'm not worried about prototype. I'm probably going to proto-lance it. But again, there will be the ability to edit routes, lengths of tracks, various grades, whatever, sections, part of whatever block, etc., etc. So you'll be able to do assign various track sections, various grades, speeds. So it's not all going to be TD3 is actually very it's actually a lot more limited to what it can do as far as the blocks are concerned. They don't treat track sections. In other words, the detector only goes off at the end of the block. Well, I'm going to be able to place a detector anywhere where it actually is. I'm also going to be able to justify track sections just like Run 8 does. So I will have track section definitions. I'm not worried about the location of them necessarily, at least not yet. Eventually location is going to become important though, especially on a bigger system-wide map. But for the time being, I'm not worried about it. Perhaps I'll put it in at the beginning, I'm not sure. Maybe I'll have a field, not sure. What's going to end up happening is once the dispatcher section is in, let me just put this here. I'm going to go like that. No, I'm going to go with that. I think I can do that. Just they're just talking, so I'm hearing a lot of beeps. So discussing whatever their plans are, etc., etc. So 11:22. I'm going to try to wrap this up at 11:30 here. So the big thing also is going to be a a yard simulation. It's going to be 2D, it's not going to be 3D. It's going to be capable of interfacing with other simulators, including Run 8, if Run 8 so desires. So the whole thing is going to be not ridden in spite of Run 8, it's going to be ridden regardless of what Run 8 does. I would love to see possibly even Run 8 do some of these things on their own, but it doesn't matter. I'm enjoying it. Tonight I had a great time, and it's on the original route. And I usually have a pretty good time with Run 8, especially lately, because now I'm not putting the pressure on myself to set up a server. And I know some of you's a lot of people, and the cool thing is there's a lot of people who were following me that actually have gone on to the Southwest Rail Simulation. They're growing, and I think it's very important. Not that Run 8 Depot needs to be challenged or anything like that. Run 8 Depot can do whatever Run 8 Depot does. That's great. Good for them. But I think it's important that there are viable alternatives out there, and the chance for people to form communities. I haven't been on the Southeast server. I don't know what's going on there, but from what I understand, things are fine. From last I heard, that's good. If that's the case, that's great. They have a tight community. I wish somebody got a Northeast. I really wanted to get the Northeast going, but I was talking about trying, to continue on and do something here. I could do something in the Northeast, but it would be more distractions. Like, it would be so easy for me to start doing something in the Northeast again. I was going to do Waycross, and then, there was one night about a couple weeks back where I just said to myself, I'm wasting too much time into Run 8 because I'm never going to get to do the things that I really want to do. And it has nothing to do with Run 8. There's a lot of things. There's money. I mean, money's a factor. I got to start getting that alternative stream of income going. It's not going to get any easier out there. So for me, yes, money's a factor, but I'm also very passionate about what I'm doing. RTS has been more than 6 years. It's been a dream of mine for probably close to a decade now. I would say at least, actually over a decade. And I started writing up designs more than 10 years ago, and I never had two things. I never had the potential or the possibility of a vehicle like this that I thought I needed, but more importantly, I didn't have the software that's out there today. The software that's out there today to make video games and realistic kind of things. Maybe I didn't have the vision. Maybe it took me years of doing various things and realizing, hey, there's a market here. Because TD3 was still strong 10 years ago. They were still doing their thing. Everything was adequate. Nobody was really challenging the status quo so much. And I think you'll see, I don't know for sure, but I know there's other simulators out there, but I'm just going to forge ahead and basically go ahead with my vision and keep things simple yet effective and deal mainly with data. What you're going to end up seeing is, after the dispatcher module's done down the road, if I only get the dispatcher module done, I'll consider that a major accomplishment. And if I fail, I fail. But I'm not looking on failing. I can't fail. That's the way I look at it. I cannot fail this time around. I'm really putting everything I've got into this, even though I'm not doing it yet, But when it comes down to when it's ready to go, I don't care how much I enjoy or don't enjoy coding. I'm going to find a passion for this. It's going to awaken, I think. I already am passionate about it. You can tell I'm serious about this, but you know, there's going to be my detractors, haters, whatever. I don't care. They can do whatever they want. It doesn't matter. You know, if they're bothering me, I just block them. Keep the negativity out of my brain as much as possible. I got to focus on what I can do, not what somebody says. Hey, you quit again. Like, go. You know, I'm not gonna say it, but so they're just, you know, like I said, they're just trolls. But anyways, I'm not worried about the trolls. There's enough people who have supported me, who continue to support me, and you know, I know there's some people that wanted me to put up a server. Well, there's a server here that does everything that I've pretty much did and has gone to the next level. So I enjoy being part. I like this server. I like the Southwest Rail server. It is based upon what was originally the California RTS server. So that's the legacy that lives here. It still lives in the Southeast server too, with although I didn't really do too much with it. That was mainly you know, that was mainly taken over almost from the get-go. I did a bit work on it, but that's totally taken to the next level. And Mike's doing the same thing here. He's just gonna keep on going with this. So, but yeah, I'm just having to finish up my drink here. Oh, so yeah, it's 11:30, coming up to a Friday. Yay! I was gonna fix my boat tonight, but I don't think I'm gonna bother now. I should though. I should before I go to bed. Maybe I'll. Yeah, I think I will. If I want to get out on Saturday, or yeah, if I want to get out on Saturday, I better do it tonight before I get to bed. So, but anyways, that's about it for now. Hope you guys who stuck around with me enjoyed that little bit of extra information, and for those that you know, hopefully that it was educational as far as how to set up the brakes for going down the hill. You know, just get yourself a minimum set, use the dynamics, let it do the work, and then you don't be using a bunch of brake and then taking it off, putting it, you'll run out of air in no time, and then you'll have a runaway. So that was the whole point of tonight. So it was worthwhile, I think. Anyways, that's it for now. I'm going to sign off for now. Oh shoot, I gotta check my emails and all that other fun stuff. But anyways, that's it for now, guys. So you have a good have yourself a good night, and I will be back. I guess I don't know when I will be back. Well, we'll see what local jobs are available early next week, but this server is going down as of Tuesday evening, so I might get into it Monday or Sunday, I should say. But these local jobs might run out real quick anyways, so we'll see what's there, because there'll be a lot available as of tonight into tomorrow for sure, but I'll be busy with the kiddo. So yeah, probably be on Sunday, might be on before then, I doubt it, but you know, I'm gonna be busy with my son. So, but I always say that and then we end up going on. So anyways, guys, have a good one. We'll talk to you later.